Lay my darling, never on this earth to me no more. 6 more miles to the graveyard. 6 more miles, long and sad. 6 more miles, and leave my darling, leave the best friend I ever
Hank was down here, and I called up Audrey in Nashville, and I said, why can't you youngsters get together and quit all this fussing and feuding and fighting? And I said, Hank loves you very much, and how about me flying up there or sending a plane up there and bringing you back here, and y'all get together? And I said, he's going on to Oklahoma City, I think, to do some shows out there. And she said, do you think Hank loves me? And I said, I know he does. So I sent my plane to Nashville and brought Audrey back here. And I talked with Audrey later. She called me, and she said that that night in Oklahoma City that Hank got very drunk and maybe on drugs or whatever. And said he came back to the hotel and said he'd like to beat me to death. And he said, she said, I got out of there with my things and my robe through that lobby, you know, and I went back to Nashville. And she said, Bob Williams, don't you ever tell me again Hank Williams loves me. I talked with him over there in the room as friend to friend, and I said, Hank, you're 28 years old, and of the 10 top tunes last week and the week before, 6 of them were yours. But unless you stop this drinking, you know, how long can you hold the pace? And he said, well, how many fellas do you know that's making $250,000 a year, 28 years old? I said, that isn't the point. I said, how much could you be making when you're 50 years old, you know, with your talent? He said that Hank's manager had called her and said that he was drinking a 5th a day of whiskey. And we just can't get him to eat anything. And maybe a can of soup, you know, in a couple of days, and the rest is whiskey. So when I called him up, she wanted me to, you know, go over there and see if I could influence him in any way. So when I called him up, I told him I'd be over there like 11 o'clock the next day and meet me at the airport in Shreveport. So I landed, and Hank was there. And he hadn't shaved in, you know, looked like a week. And he had red lipstick, you know, all around here. And he was waving a little bit. Nice to see you. And so we drove by his girlfriend's house, Billy. And did y'all hear about Billy?
3 months before his death, Hank secretly married a teenage girl, Billie Jean Jones, in New Orleans. The next day, they repeated the ceremony twice for fans who would pay to watch. The weddings grossed $30,000. Nashville's elite did not attend.
When it came time for Hank to do his number, he was led out there to the microphone in Shreveport. And he pushed his hat back and he said, folks, this is a number I like to do for you. It's made me a lot of biscuits. Called Cold, Cold Heart. Hit it, boy. And then he went through those, you know, Collage, all those tunes. And it just broke my heart, really. To see that talent, you know, and all that booze just mess it up. And you know, the people listening, they could tell that, you know. They could tell that. He asked me if I would drive him up to West Virginia, I believe. Had to do a show up there. I think New Year's Eve. And I told him that I had several businesses going, you know, and I was so busy. I'd love to, but I just can't. So the driver that drove him up there stopped somewhere en route and said, Hank, let's go in here and have a cup of coffee. And Hank was dead in the back seat. And that's one trip I'm glad I didn't make, is that one.